Hi, I'm Sharaad Kuttan, and this is Consider This, coming to you from Kluang, Johor. We're in the state seat of Mahkota, part of the parliamentary seat of Kluang, and we're here to speak to one of the candidates, Muhammad Nur Sulaiman, who is running for Warisan, one of 6 seats that the Sabah-based party has decided to field in this election. Nur, fascinating that you've chosen to stand for Warisan. It's a party that's very new in the peninsula and also doesn't have much brand recognition. At least that's what observers think. Why did you choose to this party when you have a background in humanitarian work? You were with Mercy Malaysia. Why Warisan?
Very simple. I think because of my background, one word comes to mind, and as a Johorian, that word comes to mind again. I think the word is unity. We need to have unity because of what Warisan is offering to the good people of Johor, to Kluang, even to the country, is just one word: unity. Yes, you can use, every other people will say that, but we are the only ones offering that with sheer conviction and record. Good record.
Right, and because of your humanitarian work, how does that play into your decision to join active politics? You were in civil society, now you decided to be part of the political game, and it's been a very tough and almost very volatile game, not just in Johor but in the rest of Malaysia. Why that change for you personally?
It is. One of the things that I made that quick jump was I felt that I had to do more. I really had to do more. I mean, I have served my part in humanitarian, overseas and local, but I think I need to do more for the local community. And given the kind of knowledge and experience I have, and the kind of training that I have in emergency care and disaster preparedness and critical management, I think I can share this with the people of Kluang. Under these tough times, yes, economic and environment is very fluid, but one of the key factors that we have to understand is both economic factor and health factor have the same weight. So we need to address this health factor. So with that, I think we can actually appeal to the people and tell everyone, look, health is wealth.
Okay, I want to ask you this though. Warisan's a very new party in the peninsula. Are you having problems with brand recognition?
I can't say we don't, but it's been very enlightening. People are coming up to us and saying that they are very happy. We are the new challenge, we are the new hope, and we are the new face in politics. And they see us being, I would say, neutral and independent and impartial because of unity.
Right, so this is interesting because there are 3 big coalitions vying in this for state power. Warisan, obviously, with fielding only 6, is not looking to capture state power on its own, right?
True.
So there's Pakatan, there's Barisan Nasional, and there's Perikatan. Where are your sympathies as Warisan? Which coalition might you seek to form a government with after the polls?
Okay, I would say that we will take that one step at a time. We are not, as of now, we are not addressing that issue right now. We have to concentrate on what we need to address, the current issue on ground. Okay, of course, winning is the main objective of the game. But after that, we need to figure out quickly how to solve what to do with what we have planned to do. I think the direction that our party president would think for us would be very beneficial for the state of Johor.
So Johor is, the bastion of UMNO, of Malay
Yes.
power. It has a state identity, and the idea of being Johorian first, so on and so forth. How does that shape, say, your concerns? Do you want to see a strong government in place with a large majority, or do you think more diversity in the assembly with competition for ideas is a better result at the end of the day?
There's always two sides of the coin. You can even say that if you have majority, you can have more power, you can do more things. But when you have diversity, also you have more say, you get more ideas. And today, at this juncture right now, we need to focus what we can do more for the state, not just going for elections, things like that. We have to really sit down and figure out for the good of the people, because at the end of the day, if we don't perform, we will still be at the scrutiny of the public.
Okay, so there's very interesting. We talked about the brand recognition of your party. You yourself come with a bit of brand recognition because of the position that your father held.
Yes.
Is that helping you in this race? The fact that people, at least of a certain vintage, remember your father. He was, I think, at the end of his career, state secretary.
Yeah.
Does that help you in your campaign?
I would say yes, a bit. My father has always taught me not to use his name as, or his title in my name. That's why I use, even you call me Muhammad Nur Sulaiman. I'm not called Muhammad Nur Sulaiman. To some extent, yes, when the people who knows me will refer me as Muhammad Nur Sulaiman, but most of them will refer me as Muhammad Sulaiman. I would like to be remembered and referred to as Muhammad Nur Sulaiman because that's my name. Datuk Sulaiman is his name and that's his title, so I sort of stay with that. But other than that, I think I'm very proud of his legacy. Nothing can change that. I'm really.
Very quickly, where do you think that the sentiment on the ground is going? Is it going for the Barisan Nasional line of stability and a big win for Barisan Nasional, or are people much more kind of sophisticated, as you were, after 3 years of volatility?
Yeah, I think most of the people that I met would not say it out loud, but you can see the reaction that they would prefer Barisan. I'm sure, and I'm very, very confident that we'll be here to stay. We are here for the long haul, not for short term.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I've been speaking to Muhammad Nur Sulaiman. He's the candidate for Warisan in Mahkota, which is state seat under the parliamentary seat of Kluang. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned to Consider This. Welcome back to Consider This. I'm Sharaad Kuttan here in Johor in the parliamentary seat of Kluang, which includes Mahkota and Mengkibul. I'm speaking now to the candidate, the incumbent in fact, of Mengkibul, Mr. Chew Chong Sin, who has done quite a good job, I understand, by some accounts. And you've produced a report card. I'm very curious about this report card that you produced for the voters. The issue is, did you do that as a member of the opposition in the assembly or part of the government? This is a larger question, can opposition assemblymen in fact deliver?
The answer is yes. Although few of the project accomplished when I was the government Adun, many more we continue following up. We continue to do the coordination work to make sure they get it done. So I think the most important factor is as an elected rep, we must follow up and coordinate among the various government agencies to make it happen.
So the caretaker Menteri Besar has promised as head of Barisan Nasional But he's going to try and change politics in Johor, make it more functional. He's promised equal allocation for all Aduns, whether they're opposition or part of the government. I think that's also the Pakatan Harapan promise. Do you think that in itself will change the way people think about who they want to vote for?
They might with this manifesto, but for myself, as a Adun in the past 3 years and 9 months, what I have seen, I don't think the government has the political will to do institutional reform. For instance, the enactment for anti-hopping, where we already proposed, actually few Adun proposed during our speech at day one. We even issue a joint media statement. We even sent a joint letter to the Menteri Besar office. But still, the government, in the answer at day one, openly stating that they have no intention to amend the law until the federal government done so. So I don't think they will put it as the priority.
Is there a chance, as we've seen kind of experiments, as it were, in over the last 3 years, some sort of consensus across political divides? So that the Pakatan Harapan or the major opposition bloc could work with the government that's formed in Johor. Do you think then the calculus for the voter is not who's going to be able to deliver, but who they like better, who has a track record? What do you think is going on? You're speaking to people on the ground. What is their feeling about this particular election?
Yeah, I think nowadays people has a much higher expectation to the elected representative. I think they want to vote only those they believe can deliver. So that is also a challenge to the incumbent Adun, because they have the track record for people to examine.
Okay, let's talk about issues, right? And what have you kind of delivered on? In the report I got, I saw there's a lot of infrastructure and development type projects, but there are also a lot of intangibles, right? And things that perhaps not within your control, which have to do with employment, the dependence on Singapore, for instance, to generate jobs for Johorians. How does somebody in your position, as a state assemblyman, and if you get elected, and that's by no means a foregone conclusion, how do you begin to address those bigger questions?
I think the bigger question is the fundamental issue related to our country's economic structure. For instance, when we talk about the local issue, for instance, Kelang people, the young people, they migrate to Singapore because there's lack of job opportunity in Malaysia. But this is also a statewide issue, and there's also a national issue. How we address these economic structure problems, and how to rectify. So talking about the infrastructure, that is also part of our effort towards a mission to make Kelang as a livable city. So we need to make the infrastructure right to solve the problem of the transport traffic bottleneck, so that people then feel that as a livable city, easy to transport, to shuttle around. Yeah.
Right, okay, the last question, and it's got to do with, I guess, your political philosophy, right? Khalid Nordin, the former Menteri Besar of Johor, has come out to say Barisan Nasional's formula is having a strong party within a coalition, a dominant party, and that creates stability. Whereas Pakatan Harapan is a coalition of equals, and that, in fact, paradoxically creates instability. What's your sense of this argument that he's making? Because stability is the Barisan Nasional, tagline in this election.
Yeah, I totally disagree with the stability. If I look at the history, the stability always brings to a more hegemony regime. We look at Pakatan Harapan, where every party component are equals. Then it actually creates an atmosphere of competition. I think that is good for the people. And when all parties from different coalitions, they compete each other, people will benefit from there. So I think people don't need to worry about the stability. Looking at the past 3 years, people are actually getting more from this so-called unstable government.
That's a very interesting argument, right? They've actually developed, because the MOU has pushed some of the reforms. Okay, the issue now is, well, whether people will come out. There was fatigue in Malacca, we saw that. and Pakatan Harapan and the DAP in particular suffered quite badly, pushback. PKR was completely routed in Malacca. Do you think we'll see the same dynamic here in Johor? People not coming out in sufficient numbers and therefore eroding the Pakatan Harapan base?
I would agree that either government coalition or opposition coalition, we now do not have a very clear mission or political narrative, orchestra to the same direction. So again, this is a state election and a lot of local issue. So people are now more focused on what the incumbent candidate had delivered. So I think whether they are coming out to vote, the passion to come out to vote, which very much depends on what have done in the past 3-4 years.
Well, I guess the voters are going to make that decision, and you'll know whether your report card impressed them sufficiently to bring you back into the seat that you are now contesting, Monkey Ball. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've been speaking to Chu Chong Sin. He is the incumbent candidate for Monkey Ball under the Kluang parliamentary constituency. We're here in Johor. Will stay tuned to us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Consider This. I'm Sharaad Kuttan here in Machap, the state constituency under the Simpang Ringgam parliamentary seat. It's being contested, many parties here, but Muda has chosen to stand here in an electoral pact with Pakatan Harapan and DAP Amana in particular. I'm talking to the candidate for Machap, R. Sanggaran. Sanggaran, tell us, of all the 7 seats that Muda chose in Johor, why Machap? What was special, or did you see an advantage in having a campaign here?
Why Muda chosen a Machap and fielded me as a candidate? Machap actually is a Malay majority area. We have about 30% of Chinese and 5% of Indians. I mean, less than 5% of Indians over here. I don't say party chosen me to field here because we have advantage over here. This is a Malay majority area and I am an Indian. But here we want to send a strong message to all Malaysia that this is a multiracial country and we all are here in Parti Muda to serve all the people without looking at the race, religion and the political ideology. So it's Machap when given to me. I'm happily said I will contest and I'm ready to serve all the people without looking at their background.
Okay, that's interesting because of course we know that party loyalties, ethnic and religious loyalties do play a huge role in Malaysian political dynamics. Yeah. One new thing of course is the question of younger voters now being given the vote, 18 to 21-year-olds. In the constituency of Machap, do you find a lot of younger voters, this category 18 to 21?
Okay, in Machap particularly, we have a significant number of younger voters categorized from 18 to 20 years and above that, within 18 to 29 years old. I'm really hope these youngsters, they are not belong to the loyal groups or to any party, and they are really hoping for some changes in the political landscape. Since we look at what happened at 2020 after the Sheraton move and all that, I think people are basically, especially youngsters, they're giving up on politics. And we are here to show that people need to cast their democratic rights to make sure the political landscape is stable in Malaysia. Because whatever, no matter which country, the political stability will ensure the future of the country.
Right, so okay, just to let our audience know, we're right by a very busy road here in Simpang Ringgam, so that accounts for the noise. Okay, so what's interesting is that now there is a side advantage, or a presumed advantage for Muda, a high number of younger voters. The question, of course, is that this will be a test case for Muda. can Muda mobilize this particular group? When you go out and you do your campaigns and you speak to people, does Muda have brand recognition? Do younger people say, I know your party, I want to vote for you because you're different? How are they responding?
Okay, when we are going to the ground, there are groups of people, they really knows Muda, what is Muda all about, because they have seen us in all our past moves during flood especially, and all other moves in Malaysia. And there are groups, they do not know what is Muda. Yes, we admit that, humbly we are admitting that we are underdogs in politics, but still our inspiration is the same, to serve the people. And when go to the ground, we are letting know them that we are from Parti Muda, what is our intention, why we are contesting here, what is Parti Muda is all about. They are welcoming us very well.
Okay, is there an advantage in this cooperation that you have with Pakatan? DAP in Amanah, of course, flying under the Pakatan Harapan banner, PKR flying under its own flag. Are you making an active link between Muda and these parties in order to get support from their base?
Basically, we choose to be under one roof as oppositions because we want to ensure there is a change in political landscape in Johor. In the dealing, in the sense of we want to ensure there's no much damage to the opposition. To ensure we win, hopefully we will form the government and do serve the people better.
Okay, I do want to ask you about turnout because that is something that bedeviled the Malacca campaign. Pakatan did very badly in Malacca, partly because low voter turnout, disenchantment among their own base. Do you feel that this is going to be the Johor story as well? Low voter turnout and therefore really hampering the advance of Pakatan here?
That's one thing we always telling from the very first. The timing, the government dissolved and they want to have the election and all that is not really in favor. But anyway, we are really requesting the people to come out and vote. These are democratic rights. They have to ensure to come out and vote to make sure the stability of politics. We don't know the political agenda of other parties or the other side, but as a people, they must come out. I'm really requesting the people to come out and vote.
Okay, so stability is an interesting word because that is the Barisan national tagline. They're saying stability, but for them, stability will come with a strong win for Barisan Nasional, a huge endorsement for UMNO. What's your sense? Do people want more competition in politics? Do they see that as something beneficial, or do they see that as something that has caused them more hardship than not?
First of all, the Barisan Nasional using the tagline stability, they are the whole reason why there's no stability in politics. Back in 2020, we can see they've been a very strong pillar for the political turmoil that's happened in Malaysia, and now they are using we need the political stability and all that. I would say they are not there actually. They just want to grab the power and to be longer in the power to escape from so many other things. So it's nothing to do with them for the stability, but I really hope that by people going out and to send a strong message to the sitting government, look, people have the power. You know, don't you people being so powerful and showing that you are the more powerful and can do anything, whatever you want to do.
Okay, the caretaker Menteri Besar has promised a reform. Do you think that will pan out? And if UMNO is brought back to power with a strong majority, do you think they will deliver on those reforms?
We have to wait and see, because so many promises has been made before even to the people, which is not done, for the people. And to the opposition, I don't think so. When the promises given to the people is not fulfilled, how about the promises given to the opposition?
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was R. Sangharan, candidate for Muda in Machap under the Simpang Renggam parliamentary constituency here in Johor. That's all we have for Consider This tonight. I'm Sharaad Kuttan, only on Astro 1.